to another episode of Life Outside the Box. I am your host, executive director, and to my left, I have a very special guest, my man Josh. Josh, what's going on, brother?
What's going on?
How you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for coming, man. Thank you for coming. So before we get into the sneaker that you bought today, we were introduced through a mutual friend, which is our man Darnell. Darnell was on the show, actually. He's episode 4, if I'm not mistaken. And he pretty much around the time that I became a sneakerhead myself. We were both working at Finish Line. I was just coming up. I was able to get things that I could when I was in high school. And that pretty much like sparked my interest in sneakers. As far as you, just give me a little rundown on your sneaker history. What was your first purchase, if you can remember, or in your latest purchase, anything in between that you came across. Let me hear some good sneaker stories.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I started with the Laney 14s back in like '99.
That's a good starter sneaker.
That's
okay.
That's like the first sneaker that I remember. My parents used to take me to the VIM on Jamaica Ave. I grew up in Queens.
Okay.
And that was the first sneaker that I saw that they were like, yo, pick whatever you want. They used to be like, nah, we're not paying for that. But this one they were
My mom was like that too.
They were like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. But this time they were like, yo, pick whatever. And I just happened to see it. I don't know, something about the colors and everything about it. I was just like gravitated towards it. Since then, I've always tried to pick out something that like it wasn't that like everybody had, but something that spoke to me, but like was like different.
Okay.
So from that point, I think I started collecting probably really in high school, so around like 05 or 06. That's when I started to go crazy at that point.
Yeah, see, that was around the time 05. Graduated high school in 05, so 06 I started working at Finish Line. So that's the time I started
okay. I feel like that's the golden era too. So
yeah,
like that's a lot. You know, I met a lot of people around that time, and as time progressed, when I worked with Darnell, I think it was probably like 5 years after that. So like by that time, I was already, I had like over 100 at that point. But I thought I was big shit then, but not even nothing at that point. But no, I love it, and I haven't looked back since. So.
Yeah, that's dope. And I like the fact that you brought up the golden era, because that's an era around the time where you could go to VIM and there was Jordan still sitting on the shelf. There was no...
Modell still had a Jordan contract.
Modell still had a Jordan contract. There was certain places, there was so many different places you could go. Jimmy Jazz, VIM, Modell's, Finish Line, Foot Locker, Champ. All these places you could go, especially if they were all in the same mall. If Foot Locker didn't have anymore, you run down to Finish Line. Finish Line didn't have it, you run to Champs might have it. And that to me, I do agree with you with that being a golden era of sneakers, because there was so much heat coming out and there was so many people that just had a wide variety of places to go to get them. Not like how it is today, where you just have apps and raffles and which really mess up the sneaker culture for me. Tell me a little about how you feel about where the sneaker culture is today, and do you feel like it's better? Do you feel like it's worse? Do you think that anything can be changed by it?
I think there's a little bit of both. Like it's better and worse in certain ways. Accessibility is a little bit better because now you don't even gotta leave your house no more. Before we had to hunt. So you had to go to a couple stores. They got to a point where you went to certain stores and it wasn't there, and that was it. You weren't getting no shoes.
Yeah.
So now, you might have to pay resale, you might have to pay over, you might have to do a little more footwork, but I do miss the hunt days where you didn't know that certain shoes was coming out. Like if you had a shoe that, like there wasn't vlogs or anything like that, and even if they were, it wasn't as crazy as it is now.
Right.
So now like you will go in the store, you've never seen this shoe before, you don't know, it's random collab, and you were able to buy it just off of that, and that was it. Now, it's too much knowledge. Everybody knows everything. People that's not even in.
Everybody thinks they know everything.
Well, that's fair. No, you're absolutely right.
And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people base the popularity of a sneaker on how much it can resell for. I think that's what messes up the culture, because nobody is into the nostalgia of a sneaker. Nobody is into...
There's no knowledge.
Yeah, nobody's into the history.
Learn. Yeah, the
right.
history.
Nobody's into why these two people collabed on the sneaker, like a Jordan in the Union or a Jordan in the Alma Maniere or things like that. So it's really difficult now to be a fan of sneakers, because the people that are getting these shoes off the sneakers app and stuff like that are people that just want them just to resell them. Instead of wanting them to love them and appreciate them, wear them, and and that's what bothers me about the sneaker game.
No, I can understand that point, and I tell people all the time, because people know that I collect, or somebody tells them, some type of way. People always assume like, oh, well, how much money are you making? I'm like, I don't really resell. Like, I don't resell at all actually, but if I get something and I don't need it and I have it for a couple of years and I know it's going for more than what I paid, I'll sell it. But I'm not going and buying full size trying to flip. Like every now and then I might buy something and I'm like if I don't like a Travis shoe, but I can get it, yeah, why not? Why not pay my car note with a shoe that I don't even care for if I can get it?
Right.
A lot of times I get seated shoes that I had no intention of getting, but I'll take it, throw it in the collection. It's a bad habit, but
yeah. But you are supposed to wear your shoes or they will crumble apart.
So I try to wear. I probably worn 90% of my shoes at this point. It comes every couple of years. It gets to a point where I try to wear shoes like I'm like, all right, I had these for like 6-7 years.
And then you put them on your feet in a while.
I hate that. Like I have a shoe and I'm like, all right, that just came out. I'm gonna wait till everybody kills theirs.
That's what I do.
So like this is new, right? Yeah. It's been out for a couple months. This is very rare for me to wear something like this, but like most of the time I wait like a year or two. Sometimes it hits like 5 years and I'll wear something like, all right, well everybody's dead now.
Yeah. I'm more so like that as well. Like I won't wear it as soon. You know how you got the people that wear it straight out the store, or that night they buy the sneaker. I'm more so the type of person that I'll get the sneaker and I'll wait a few months while everybody else is dirty and dingy and creased up and stuff like that. Yeah, then I'll put them on.
I'll wait till everybody cook theirs.
Yeah. Cook yours first, and then I'll wear it. I hate walking into a space like that. There used to be episodes of junior high school where I went to PS231 in Queens.
Okay.
And there would be times when you go in and half the hallway got on one sneaker, the other half got on another sneaker. It's like, man, y'all got the same sneaker on? That's kind of crazy to me. So I wait a little bit and then I wear mine when everybody else.
I feel like growing up in a scenario like that has made me broaden my horizons, and my collection is like all over the place, and it's for reasons of that. I always want to have stuff that like people break their necks for. Like you're gonna have the classics, you're gonna have the stuff that everybody's gonna have, but then you're gonna have stuff that like, whoa, what is that? Like I've never seen that before.
Never seen it.
Like I love that reaction. And
yeah, that's a dope reaction to have. It's just living in the nostalgia of a sneaker, man. That's the most important thing to me. I really don't like the oversaturation of resellers now. Everybody wants to buy a sneaker just to resell it. And you lose out on sneakers you really want and will appreciate because of the way the game is right now.
Yeah, reselling always existed, but
now
it's different because now we have people reselling that's not collectors, that's not into the culture or not into the space. So that's what changes everything about it. But resellers always existed. I remember the days where you bought a shoe, I bought a shoe, and we both wanted the opposite colorways that we got. And we would either trade it, or if we don't live in the same region, we're shipping, we just pay for like the shipping pretty much. Right? Like a lot of that camaraderie doesn't exist anymore.
Doesn't exist at all.
Everybody's trying to make a buck off you. I got friends that I grew up with that would try to hit me and had $200-$300 over.
Yeah.
I don't mind spending a certain money. Like if the shoe costs $200 and you want $300, okay,
that's acceptable for me.
Yeah.
Not if the shoe, not like let's use dunks for an example. A dunk could cost $100, $110, $120, $130 max. These people are reselling dunks for $1,100. Yeah, the Jerry ones is like $1,500.
Oh yeah, the SB generate. Yeah, that's.
I don't get that. That's what you.
And when I started like 05, so 05, 06 is the SB boom. So dunks was crazy, SBs was even crazier. So like I seen stuff, and I remember back then, $300 to $400 was a lot of money to spend on a shoe.
A whole lot of money.
Now those same shoes are going for $1,200, $1,300 or more. So
Absolutely.
And I go through eras, so there's a lot of things that I got rid of back then that I wish I never did. Like, and if I never sold anything, I feel like my collection would be out of control. But
listen, I'm having flashbacks now that you say that, because before I went to the military, I had 136 pairs of sneakers, right? Fire. Some of out of 136, there was probably 40 I didn't even wear yet. Went to the military after I got out of boot camp. I came back home to get my stuff, and they were all gone besides like 6 sneakers. Oh. Yeah, my mom gave them away, sold them, gave them to my brother. I literally shed so many tears behind that collection because I worked
all
hard.
136 away?
Yeah, there was when I got there was probably 6 left. 10 of them was in my brother's room, and everything else was gone. I don't know
We're the
where
same
these
size?
niggas were. Yeah, me and my brother was the same size for a long time.
See,
Now
I
he-
got no brothers, so
Oh,
I never had to deal with that pain.
When I tell you I cried so hard behind that, but you know, I'm to the point where I'm rebuilding my collection, so I'm probably about 60 pair in right now.
Okay.
And you know, it's slowly getting back to where it used to be.
I would love to be in a space like that. I know everybody won't have it. You know, I got a unit. I'm way past that.
What do you think your collection is right now?
Like number-wise?
Yes.
I'm somewhere around 500.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So I have about 200 in my house, and then probably 250, maybe 3 in the unit.
Okay. Dope.
Or whatever it is, one offsets the other.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I said. There was a point I sold a bunch of myself. Like I didn't have a job. There was a time period I didn't have a job for a couple months, and I sold a bunch of stuff. So seller's remorse, because looking back on it, there's stuff now that I'm like, I should have never sold this.
Yeah. Because you didn't know what
It's not even stuff that goes for money and stuff that you can't find virtually.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of sneakers like that. A lot of people
Absolutely.
don't understand that. Like some stuff is hard because it's like, yo, you're not gonna pay $5,000 for the shoe. And then you got the stuff that you can't find anywhere. Like came out in like Europe or Asia.
Right.
You got it some type of crazy way, and now you sold it, and now you're never getting that back.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of stuff was in my collection or is in my collection that's like that. So.
That's dope. All right, so let's get into the sneaker that you bought here today. So I already see off the rip.
Yeah.
Older sneaker because the box is very, very worn.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I'm sure it's
dried out.
it's the original box. So you're gonna get that sometimes. Like I said, I like the fact that you know certain people don't just go for the newest sneaker that's out to bring on.
I wanted to go a different route. From past episodes, I was like, let me go a real different route. There was one episode that stuck out, and I was considering doing something like that. I can't remember his name, but he had the college blue 17s with the suitcase.
Oh yeah.
I would have done that.
I mean, Aaron,
Yeah. So that was dope. I wanted to do that. Once I saw the episode, I was like, all right, so I'm not gonna be able to do that. So I wanted to bring something old, and this shoe means something to me in general, and I try to collect every variation of it. So
Okay.
it's just a random variation of the shoe that I like.
All right, let's get into it. Let's see what you got here.
It's just different.
Definitely. So, and look how old they look too.
Yeah.
So-
Oxidized and all.
Yeah,
Okay.
Definitely.
So this is the Air Max 9360.
basically.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm a big fan of Air Max 90 infrareds.
Okay.
And I get every version possible. So whatever I was bringing today was going to be an infrared 90.
Got
This
it.
particular one, I figured you don't see this that often.
You don't.
You don't
You
see
don't.
360s anymore. 360 came out what, 06? So you don't see this too often. So I figured why not let me bring something like this. And they haven't been worn in a while, but
Okay.
plus, this box.
Yeah.
That's a lot of this.
Classic Nike box. Okay, so now you said these sneakers mean something to you. Give me what this sneaker is to you. Why did you bring it? Things of that nature.
Well, the infrared 90 is a shoe that I always liked it, but there was a point, I want to say 2008 maybe, somewhere around there that I just kept falling in love with it. And every time they would have a flying version, they would have a hyperfuse version.
Right.
They would have different versions, the love was still there. So I was like, I gotta get everyone. So then after I started going back, this one, 360, was one of the ones that I went way out of my way to get, and it took me a couple of years to get it. And I've been collecting since 05, so
Okay.
it's been a while. But it's just a shoe that the 360 is one of the shoes that when they first came out, I was like, all right, we're doing this, we're doing that. So to combine infrared 90s, my love for that alone, and then the 360 on top of that, this shoe will never go anywhere.
Right.
If I could get another one, I probably would.
Out of your whole collection, you say you about 500 deep. Out of your whole collection, how many Air Max 90s and 360s do you have? That you give us a round number, guys.
360 is not that high. It's probably like 5 pairs.
Okay.
Air Max 90s, I don't even know what number on that. That's a good question. Infrared, I could say infrared 90s at least 22 now.
22 pair, okay.
Yeah, so every version from, I have about the 05 release up to, what's the most recent one, 2020. Everything in between there, I think I'm missing 2 or 3. So that should be about 20 something pairs of every variation. So yeah, I would love to get a OG 90. That's a
pretty dope.
We working on it. We working on it, man.
Yeah. That's crazy to me. It's very so. In your collection of 500 sneakers, right? You say you have about 20-something pairs of these. Is there another style of sneaker that you also have, like maybe 30 pair of, 20 pair of here, 50 pair of here, like
maybe generic Air Maxes, like just 95s, 97s.
Okay.
Air Max 1 definitely probably 50 plus.
50 plus Air Max 1.
Yeah,
you know, Darnell actually made me like the Air Max 1. I didn't like Air Max 1s until
he's always loved the Air Max 1.
He has. Until he came on the show and he expressed his love for it and showed me the different variations of that sneaker, I was hooked, and I think that's a really dope shoe.
It's a shoe that you can wear for the rest of your life.
Right.
That's how I look at it.
So. Absolutely.
There was a point I used to get wild colors, materials I didn't care what, anything that stuck out or like broke somebody's neck down the block. Then I got to a point where I was like, I gotta buy stuff that like I could wear it now and I could wear it 10 years from now.
Okay.
So a lot of Air Max 1s, it's a classic silhouette and simple colorways. Even if it's wild colors, it still looks more tame opposed to something else. So
Right.
Air Max 1 is an easy one. 95 is another one. 95 to me is not that comfortable though, so like it's hit or miss. Like I got a lot, but it's one of those you're not gonna wear it like that. But I'm a huge Air Max fan.
Okay.
Young's Forces, like the collection is all over the place. Like I got a lot of everything. I wish I never got rid of anything. If I never got rid of anything, I would have really enjoyed that collection.
Yeah, that's dope. So real quick before we get out of here, and I know that this is going to be an even harder question for you because I asked everybody this question. Your sneaker collection is 500 plus. What sneaker don't you have in your collection that you absolutely have to have if you can get your hands on it?
Oh man, there's a lot.
Give us
First one off the top of my head.
Give me your top 3.
Top 3? Okay. I would love a pair of 85 Jordan 1s. Chicago's.
Okay.
That's easy. The OG American. The OG. What's that? Not infrared. The Air Max 1, the red. The OG one.
Okay.
I don't need like an older release, but that's a shoe that I've always liked and I've never actually been able to get. It'll come out and it'll disappear and that's it. So kind of like how your infrared,
infrared
exactly.
for me. Yep.
That's one. It's not hard release to get either.
Right.
But for some reason, I refuse to pay over retail.
That's how I feel with the infrared 6. Because like every time it drops, there's always something going on in my life where I can't get it. I didn't know it was dropping, or it's just not right.
It never makes sense why I don't own that shoe.
That's why I call it my kryptonite.
That's a good way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, I'll give you a real hard one that I'll probably never get. Freddy Krueger SBs.
Oh,
I'll never get those. So,
wow.
or at least I'll never spend that. Unless I become a millionaire overnight, then.
Hey, listen, you never know what can happen.
I have no problem throwing 60 grand, whatever they go for now.
Yeah.
I have no problem at that point.
So dope. Well, listen, I want to thank you for bringing these on the show. This is actually the first Air Max 90 and Air Max 360 that's been on the show, so I appreciate that.
Glad to be the first.
Yeah, thank you for coming, my brother.
Definitely. Thanks for having me.
My name is Extra the Director, and this has been Life Outside the Box.
Just different.